Welcome back to the podcast, The Purpose Pursuit. That's a silly way to start, sorry. Welcome back to the Purpose Pursuit podcast with me, Hannah Miller, and I have roped in Laura McClellan again because
Hello.
I enjoyed it. Basically,
I'm glad you did.
I don't know whether you did, but I felt that I'm pulling rank and I'd like you to talk to me again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and you are my boss. So.
I am, and we are both looking autumnal.
We are very
Lovely
cosy.
and cosy. You've got a love. In fact, it belongs to your sister.
Yeah, she will not be having this back.
Who normally steals from who? Or is it a 50-50?
Kind of 50-50, but it's only really recent, and I take it as the biggest compliment. Because Hannah, grown up, she's 6 years younger than me, and she used to say that I dressed like a grandma, and wore too much knitwear and wool, and now look at me.
So is it
covered in knitwear?
Is she more grandma herself,
yes,
or is it?
I think so.
And
I think
cooler.
Oh, I don't think I've got cooler.
No, I don't either.
I just think she's starting to like knitwear and wool a bit more as well.
Love it. So we're in the cosy autumn season. If people are listening to this as it goes out, that's November. We are proper cosy season. Mm-hmm. And you get a bit like, I get a bit like I don't want to leave the house.
Absolutely, because it's pitch black.
Pitch black all the time.
Yeah.
And why would you want to go out and get wet or cold? And it's time for the fire. It's time for a blanket. It's time for a woolly jumper, whether you're a granny or not. And it's telly time.
Absolutely.
Like, it's the time when I think we watch a bit more TV as people. I mean, some people watch loads of TV anyway. And we are recording this, and The Traitors hasn't yet finished. It's about to.
Yeah, this week.
Are you loving The Traitors?
I am absolutely loving
Who's
it.
Who's your favourite?
I mean, Alan is just an absolute...
Hilarious.
He's just brilliant.
Levi's school friend met Alan this week.
Really?
Yeah, he was at a show at the CBSO. Went to listen, I think it was CBSO, Symphony Hall. And he was there.
I think a couple of other people we know saw them.
him.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. Yeah.
And I've seen photographic evidence of it.
Gosh.
I know that he was definitely there
I do love
as
Alan.
a punter. So you love Alan.
But my absolute favourite is Nick. I just want to. I want to scoop him up in my arms, and I want to take him home.
My actual friend.
Yeah, me too.
I love him. I like Joe Marler. Obviously, it's the rugby house, so they all like him. And I like the other Joe that is now deceased.
No, I love the two Joes.
I can't remember his name. Joe Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Wilkinson. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I like those two. It's been a great season.
It's been so good.
It's been so fun. My absolute favourite moment was the bit where they had to do. I don't know what your favourite moment is, when they did the wailing banshees
down the well
in the forest.
Yeah.
And they had to repeat the wail down the well to the others who were listening to the wail in water under the well. I cried with
Celia.
laughter. It was absolutely
so
the best thing I've ever seen. Was that your favourite moment?
It was one of my favourite moments. The other is when Kat was going along the bridge screaming, I'm an adult, I'm an adult.
Yeah, she was channeling you kind of behaviours, actually.
I've seen a lot of memes. Yeah, when you have to take a phone call.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I can
I'm
do
an adult.
This. Brilliant telly. Are you watching anything else good telly?
I wouldn't say it's good telly, but I do like, basically, when the autumn rolls around, I basically rewatch Gilmore Girls. Just
so how many times have you watched Gilmore Girls?
Maybe 2 or 3.
I've never seen it.
I know.
Do you think I would like it?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
It's not interesting enough for you, I don't think.
Okay.
It's just not. And it's too many. It's too long, and there's too many episodes. There's too many. Like, it's
so
just.
It would be a commitment.
It would be a commitment, and I think you prefer smaller, like punchier.
Finishing an end.
Yeah. This is like. Yeah, it's a little bit, but I love it. It's just so cosy. I put a candle on.
Do you like the fact you know what's going to happen? Is it a bit like when people rewatch Friends over and over?
It's that. It's a comfort kind of show. I know what's happening. I can like read at the same time, or I can.
Having comfort shows is really underrated. People need to think, actually, it is nice to go back to something.
It's absolutely harmless.
You already know that you will. When I did a bit of this when Sam's mum was poorly earlier in the year, and life was really challenging, I listened to all of the Jane Austen books, which I know what happens in all of them because I've read them before. So that was like comfort. And I watched Death in Paradise.
I just find
which is
so
a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like cozy death. They call it cozy crime, don't they? It's a whole genre, which is quite new to me.
Yeah.
But they're in like the Caribbean. So it makes it... And the murders happen immediately. You've told me your mum and dad liked it.
Absolutely loved it. And I literally
and
cannot
your mum doesn't like traumatic...
No, it's me.
You've just said she likes A&E shows.
Oh, she loves a crime. Well, not an actual crime. She doesn't actually. She doesn't love crime. Can I just clarify for anyone listening?
No,
Sorry,
but she
Mum.
likes crimey shows.
She loves crimey shows. She loves like detective.
Does she like true crime things or more fake crime?
No, fake crime.
My hairdresser, who I adore, who is coming to sort out my grey later, she loves true crime. She's obsessed with true crime.
Do you know, I just think the world is too scary and too stressful.
She listens to really scary things, and she was telling me all these horrendous true crime things when Jude went to Thailand and told me where he shouldn't go. And
thanks,
all these
Nikki.
like, I know, I was like, thanks for this actual evidenced, researched stuff. So I like cosy things, cosy crime, death in paradise. Although I have got a better appetite for you than scary things by a long way.
I just rewatch Shrek, The Office, and Gilmore Girls.
You have to keep it at that level.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have watched that's really good if people actually want a sensible recommendation, apart from just
PG.
rubbish. The Newsreader was brilliant. It's on BBC iPlayer and it's an Australian show and it's set in the 80s, so I loved it for that reason. I read something online where it said if this show was American, it would have been massive, as in it's because it's Australian, it's taken a bit longer to get coverage. And it's about this young newsreader, whose name I have already forgotten because of my age, and a female newsreader, and it's about their relationship with each other as friends and potentially more than, but also the complexities of their life and them trying to get the anchor positions as news. And it was absolutely brilliant show. Really, really, really good and moving and brilliantly acted. So if you want a recommendation that's not just a load of rubbish, then try that. Or Gilmore Girls, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
So what about books? Obviously, this is a podcast where we talk about my book, but as well as cozy telly, are you watching any books?
I'm watching so many books at the moment.
Are you reading any good or not good books?
I am. So I'm currently reading There Are Rivers in the Sky.
Yes, I've read this.
Because you recommended it.
That's always a bit of a responsibility.
It is a responsibility.
I'm responsible for your happiness.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
It's quite an interesting book, though, isn't it? Like, it's a bit odd.
I've never read a book like it.
Because you're time travelling.
Constantly. But it's not even time travelling along the same like timeline of a person. It's like three different stories. And it's all held
different time zones.
Yeah, in 3 different time zones. And it's all held together by literally a water droplet.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
It is. You've got to keep going.
You've got to keep going. So I'm about halfway through, but I am really enjoying it.
It's good. It's well written. But it is a bit of a head doer.
I've never, ever, ever read a book like it.
No, I know.
And
I
then,
agree.
just like as a nice little soft autumn cozy read,
Gilmore Girls in
Gilmore
book
Girls,
version.
I'm reading this book about God and AI.
Oh my gosh, that's
because
cozy.
It's so cozy because it's my husband's birthday. I bought him
wants
this.
books on God
He
and
wanted
AI.
books on this, and it's literally like this thick. It's absolutely massive. It's by John Lennox, but he's got loads and loads and loads of exams coming up, so he cannot be distracted by a book as big as my head.
No.
So I'm reading it instead.
Reading it instead. And distracting him by giving him nuggets.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying.
Is it deep?
It's so deep.
And terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Well, the AI bit is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
is it
really
more AI
good.
than just our little ChatGPT friend?
Well, yeah, but it does make me scared of ChatGPT even more than I already was.
Does it? What does it make you think?
It makes me think that it's going to like become conscious and come and like take over the world.
Some people do think it could become, what's the word? Sentient?
Well, there's thoughts that it already is.
How though?
I don't know.
How can it already be sentient? How can something... I don't know. We talk about ChatGPT and the fact that it's important to use manners.
Oh, please and thank yous. Absolutely.
But I have since been told by, I think, my son, that using please and thank you is wasting, like, resource, like environmentally.
It's water because they have to cool down the systems.
Every time we say please.
Every time it takes up like gallons and gallons.
How many people are saying please all over the world?
I hope a lot.
Do you say please to Alexa?
I don't have Alexa, but this Alexa I do, I think.
I do, but then I
do.
get cross with her because she can never understand me and then I shout.
She's a rude Alexa.
Yeah, she's
She's off
she's
the rails. Yeah.
What's the word? Not accent phobic. She's like accent prejudice.
Yeah. She doesn't like a Brummie accent.
No, she doesn't.
No.
She won't do anything I ask her to do, ever. Even sensible things. Okay, so you are reading God and AI, which is a nice little bedtime book.
Yeah.
I have just read, and really loved The Wedding People. That's a hyped book.
Yeah.
Lots of people have said it's good, and I loved it. It's about, I'm not going to spoil it, I think you'd love it. It's about a woman who finds herself in a hotel where everybody else at this hotel is a wedding guest because there's a wedding taking place. So they're all there for the wedding in a couple of days' time. She's the only person at this hotel who is not a wedding guest.
Right.
And it's about the unravelling of what's taken place in her life and how she becomes connected to the bride. And so the whole book is set over the week of the wedding. And it's really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. It made me laugh. It's also quite emotional. It has the whole load in it, but it's humorous and really well written. So well done. I think her name is, I'm going to call her the wrong name now, Alison Espach, I think is her name. So well done, because it's really good. Book that did not live up to its hype is a book called Sandwich that I was told to read. It's about the sandwich age. So like having growing up children and parents that need you, and it's set on a holiday in Cape Cod, and I thought, the woman is like a bit older than me maybe, but I thought there's so much in this I could relate to. Honestly, no. Finished it,
The review is in.
read it quickly, but only because I was like, really? And it was an easy read. Don't recommend.
Okay.
Pass.
Right, I won't be reading that after.
But do you know what I'm thinking as I'm saying that? As I'm literally saying that, that's somebody's book.
I know. Hannah, they've worked really hard
I know
on
they
that.
have. And to be fair, other people might really relate.
It's just not
I
your
just didn't
vibe.
relate it, so I just want to actually retract the way I've just spoken. Oh my gosh. For me, I think because people had said I'd really enjoy it.
Sometimes that makes it worse,
disappointed.
I think.
Yeah,
when
I
things
think
are
it does.
hyped,
It does.
expectations too
And
high.
loads of people have read it and obviously enjoyed it. This is why we have choice in this world.
Yeah.
And why
And
you can like to
preference.
eat things that I wouldn't like to eat. Like, I don't know, massive
Meat?
mushrooms. I don't like them
I
very
don't
much.
think I like massive mushrooms. I'd never ever choose that. Maybe a
Sweet
small
corn. Do you like
mushroom.
sweet corn?
Yeah.
That's my most vile thing.
Do you like it on the cob? Are you joking?
On the cob is like tolerable
I mean, it
if
has
I was on a
stringy
desert
bits.
island and dying.
Okay.
But tinned sweet corn
Really?
is the thing that makes me... It's probably the only thing that I cannot tolerate. And it's a shame because it's a filler, isn't it? And people
Yeah.
always do tuna and sweet corn.
What about tuna mayo and sweet
No,
corn?
I like tuna mayo. Forget
Okay.
the sweet corn.
Yeah.
No. What do I eat that you think's disgusting apart from meat? Or just meat? I don't really ever eat meat around you.
No, you don't.
Because I eat eggs all the time.
Eggs, just an egg on toast every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Like-
And but every day you go, what shall I have for lunch? An
And
egg
then I
on
have an egg on
toast.
toast again. Yeah, but you get a bit like that too. And eat the same thing over
I'm
and over.
so boring. I've got beans on toast today. Woo.
Yeah, but that's at least a variety.
I'm trying to do protein. Do you know what I
Good.
mean?
Yeah,
Protein and fibre.
Protein, eggs are good.
Yeah.
But I don't eat anything that you think's gross. Apart from meat.
Sometimes when you have like tinned fish.
Oh, don't you like that?
It's not that I don't like it.
Is
I'm
it
just like,
smelly?
and like gooey.
Yeah, it is a bit. Like when I have a like grilled mackerel on toast.
Oh, I know cottage cheese.
Oh, don't you like that either?
Awful. I
It's
hate
good
globby
protein.
texture.
It's good protein.
I'd rather just not have protein.
No. Do you think we should talk about something more helpful to people? I mean,
We're just yapping at
it
this
would be
point.
interesting to know what people think
Yeah.
of disgusting foods and books. So, don't recommend Sandwich, although you might like it. Do recommend The Wedding People. You recommend The Rivers in the Sky,
Yeah.
but you haven't actually finished it.
No.
Okay. Talking of books, we thought we could talk today a bit about my book, funnily enough, and what makes it different.
Yeah.
Which is a great question.
Yeah.
That I had existential crises over.
You had a lot of existential crisis.
Why would
over.
anyone pick this up?
Yeah, because there is so much in the media, in the world, about self-help books,
Yeah.
purpose.
I mean, the publishers
career.
literally said to me, it's really crowded.
It's really crowded. There's so many voices.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is, why did you write a book? And what does yours have to offer that others don't? Which
Yeah.
is
And we talked
big
about,
thing.
I mean, I do have existential crises about monthly, don't I? And before we got a contract, that was a big, well, what on earth?
Yeah.
Why? Nobody's going to. And then publishers did say to me, it's very crowded. You probably aren't going to get a contract. So to be fair, there was some truth.
grounds
There
to
was
think,
grounds
yeah.
to that. They literally said to me, we're probably not going to offer you one, which, by the way, means that they obviously quite liked it. So there must be something in it. But they did say most books are written by influencers these days in the self-help department. And I'm not an
Yeah.
influencer.
Not yet.
No, I might might influence you to read a book, and I don't even influence my children. I think they're less likely to do something because I've said it.
You influence me.
Thank you.
You really influence
Thank you.
me.
That's worrying,
okay.
though, isn't it? I can influence you to do all sorts of terrible things.
You've influenced me to do this podcast, so...
I don't think I influence my kids. I feel like the more... I send them things like, listen to this, watch this, and I think that makes it even more repulsive that I do that to them. Currently trying to convince Levi, who I think, to be fair, is going to do it today. He said he would. He was talking about, this is a side point, but he was talking about mistakes and failure. And I'd listened to Roger Federer talk about it, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he talks about it from a sport perspective, and how if you look at the statistics of him, and obviously he was one of the very best tennis players ever. Nadal's my favourite, but I really respect Federer. Anyway, if you look at the proportion of points he won, he failed more than he won. He just won the right points. It's just so interesting.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about mistakes and failure and picking yourself up. Anyway, side point, my book. So you have to do a thing called a book proposal, don't you, when you write a book?
Yeah.
So when you put it to publishers, if it's a non-fiction, so if you've written a fiction book, you write the whole thing normally and you send it off. If you write in a non-fiction book, they normally want you to send a sample chapter and they want you to put a book proposal together. Shout out to Penny Windsor, who helped me with mine. But the big question in the book proposal is, why your book?
Yeah.
And why is it going to be different to any other book within that mark? Because to be quite frank, if you've got a book to write that's non-fiction, somebody's going to have written on that topic before.
Yeah.
Like that book you're reading on AI is not the only book on AI or the only book on God and AI.
Yeah,
There'll be loads of them. So you have to think, what's the angle? And what am I saying that maybe is a bit different or said a bit differently? Mm-hmm. And we did talk about this and think about it quite a bit.
We did. And actually, you did a lot of thinking about it.
Yeah, because you do stop and think a little bit, like, literally, would I read this?
We've had that quite a few times.
I think that a lot about everything I'm ever saying. Am I interested in what I've got to say? So I have thought about 4 things that are in my book that are possibly not in other books. Mm-hmm. Why is it a bit different? What's the angle? Why you should read it? What's a bit different about this?
Yeah, and this isn't just in Hannah's book. This is just in how you work with our corporate clients, in the Purpose Pursuit
What's a bit different?
Course. This is kind of all the things of how Hannah loves to work and what she tells people, basically wrapped up into this podcast.
Yeah, and one thing I do, which isn't one of the 4, is I often go off on tangents. That is a big part of how I work. Let's have a massive tangent over here and talk about Roger Federer. So, what shall I say first? Number 1, purpose is not a product. And so this book looks at purpose a bit differently. So, shall I say what I mean by that a little bit?
Say what you mean.
Say what you mean. Say what you see.
Say what you mean.
So, the purpose is not a product point, is that I think that a lot of stuff around purpose can often sound like it's to do, first of all, with work and your identity in what you do. And it becomes this sense of like completion, or have this thing and you've got purpose. And the idea behind it being called the Purpose Pursuit is a bit cheesy, because obviously we always talk about journey, but it is that idea that it isn't a product. It's not something you can just get off a shelf or consume. You have to like live it out. And the fact that you don't just arrive at something and go, now I have my purpose. I don't think that happens. And also the fact that it's not just about what you do. It's much more about who you are, and how that is sort of played out in your life. And that to move away a bit from some of the metrics that we might use to suggest that we're living with purpose. We could argue there are a lot of purposeful people out there that some of the outward metrics don't suggest that they maybe lived a life of purpose. I've even been thinking about this in preparation for my mum's funeral, that externally you might say there are loads of measures and metrics that mum's life didn't live up to, but I would argue my mum did live a life of absolute purpose. She knew what her core purpose was, and she knew the things that she did really well. She just knew how to make people feel loved, for one. And what a lovely thing to have as a legacy, and a sense of purpose that meant that whether she was being a lollipop lady, or whether she was being a mom, or whether she was being with her friends, or whether she was doing any of the other jobs that she had. By the way, my mom did do more than lollipop ladying, but she was a lollipop lady for quite a long time, which isn't that the cutest thing?
Oh my goodness.
But shall I tell you a funny thing about
Yeah.
that? She was a lollipop lady on the road in Romsley where I grew up, which is a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and she was a lollipop lady for the primary school. One time my mum got a speeding fine on that road. She was absolutely, can you imagine, so mortified.
Oh my goodness.
She was so mortified. And in those days, you had to go and present your driving licence at the police station when you got a speeding fine.
She was a criminal.
She was one of those you was one of those like hidey policemen with the gun.
What?
When they hide. No, I don't mean a gun.
What?
I mean like a speeding gun.
Oh my word.
Not an actual gun in Romsey Village.
I thought someone with a sniper
My
in a
mum was
bush.
speeding 35 in the 30s.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
like a speed
Okay.
gun catcher thing. And that's actually...
That looks like a hairdryer.
I think they do,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it was one of those, and she got pulled over, and she said to the policeman, she said, I'm the lollipop lady. And she was absolutely mortified because she normally made people stop. Then she had to go to the police station and present your licence. It's to prove that... I think it was probably that back then they didn't have it all on a computer system. She had to prove that you were actually a licensed driver. And I just remember this being like one of my mum's darkest,
Deepest
mortifying
secrets.
is that she had a speeding fine for the road that she policed. Anyway, that's a total sidebar. Purpose is not a product. It's not a thing that you can just purchase for your life. It's not about your career. It's not about just what you're paid to do. It's this idea of journey, and it's about this idea of you have to partner with it to make it happen. That's one of the things.
Yeah. Have you had, in your experience as a coach over the last kind of 10 years and with the Purpose Pursuit course, any stories or people who pop into your mind where you think this specifically can relate to them, who maybe have thought their career is completely tied up in their sense of purpose and actually they miss out on the meaningful stuff that happens around them?
Well, I can think of people who have approached working with me when they've been coming to the end of a career.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that actually is quite typical is that feeling of standing on the edge of a precipice of what's going to be next, and I don't have purpose anymore. Add to that the fact the world is quite obsessed with people being young.
Yeah.
You can feel increasingly like I've got nothing to offer. I'm not paid to do my job anymore. They've pushed me. Either I've been pushed out the door, or it's time for me to retire, and that can cause this massive vacuum in people. Or similarly, perhaps when people have worked and then they're having time off for other reasons, like maybe they've been long-term unwell, perhaps they've had a baby. Obviously, a baby's a massive distraction, but it can make you feel like, I don't mean a distraction, it's like the most wonderful thing, but I mean it can distract you from that to begin with. But sometimes people start to think, gosh, where's my purpose gone? Is this it? I just wipe a baby's bottom and feed them and, wear jogging bottoms and maybe occasionally eat properly at the right times. I've made it sound terrible. It's not, it's wonderful. But I think when you hit those shift moments, the clients I can think of who hit those can start to think, I don't have purpose, because that moment of transition point can be so disorientating. In fact, a lot of people my age whose children are leaving the home, that's massive. I remember my mum saying just before I got married, I'm her youngest child, and I guess being married was like a proper end to not just being at uni, I wasn't coming home. And she was ironing things for me, bless her, before I packed my suitcase for my honeymoon. It was literally the week of the wedding. And I said, oh, Mum, thank you for doing that. Thank you for ironing for me. And she said, and she just literally burst into tears and went, that's okay. Who else am I going to do it for if I don't do it for you? And it was like this emotional moment of, this has been my purpose. And I think this idea of purpose not being a product or being to do with a certain role that you play is really important, so that we can readjust to the next season. And I'm saying that to myself because my life purpose is changing as well. Yeah. Shall we move on? But otherwise I'm going to be here all day. The second one is most self-help books focus on you.
Yeah.
And this book is not just about you.
No, it's not.
No. And I think that's the second thing. It's not just centred on you. Again, I think one of the problems with the idea of purpose is that we think it's all about us. Now, there's plenty about self in here because you look at your own personality, you look at who you are and the gifts you have. But the happiest people on earth, and this is evidenced over and over and over again, are actually living lives that have a dimension about them that is not centred on themselves. That is just a fact. All over the world. And perhaps some of the problem we're facing is actually, just to quote some data, I've said this already, but 3 in 5 young adults in America and 9 in 10 young adults in the UK have been quoted to say that their life lacks purpose. And 1 in 4 people don't believe they are living a meaningful life. And one of the problems can be is if they think that their meaningful life is going to come from within and not because of a sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves, it's always going to fall short. So I think there are 2 key aspects of that. That can be to do with someone's faith and spirituality, and I use a broad definition for that. And it's also about that role of inter-community and having a life that at least part of it has a generosity of spirit to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know, like you would reflect on your own life, that being able to take some of the hard things of life and use that as a vehicle for good for others can really give purpose, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you just tell people? Oh, you're going to kill me now, aren't you? You and your sister are doing something very brave.
Yeah, so we basically, context is that our lovely dad died last year on Father's Day, of all days. Thank you for that, Dad. Of cancer. And I was 23, Hannah was 17. And as you can imagine, it was just the most life-altering, devastating, massive thing to ever happen. And it wasn't just his death, it's all the things that came before and the illness. And, you know, our lives changed from the moment we found out he was unwell.
Yeah.
And so off the back of that, after, you know, the first year of absolute carnage, we've really just felt really deeply that we wanted to do something to support other young people who have gone through parent loss.
Because that's a specific set of circumstances.
Yeah, like the specific losing a parent when you're young to like a terminal illness and what that means in terms of growing up, making choices, decisions, just losing a parent and that being so life-defining. And so we've set up this little grief community called Pentheo, which means to mourn, on Instagram currently, and we're just kind of sharing like tips and reminders and things like that and seeing where it goes. And
because people don't really, especially if you're young as well, this is going to be highly likely someone's first experience of deep, close grief. And so adding into that, the fact that as a country we're very poor at talking about
so
difficult
bad.
emotions.
I
think we've come a long way, even in my lifetime, but I still think people don't understand that grief looks like you can be laughing and you can cry. That doesn't mean you're over.
Absolutely.
Just that simple fact doesn't mean you're over it.
Like it doesn't get better, really. No. It isn't wrapped up and tied with a bow.
Into different seasons of your life, but it's not like you're like,
no,
tick box.
No, I'm still absolutely as devastated and find life just as hard as I did over the past few years. It does change, but it doesn't get better.
No.
And actually, to be able to just be honest and kind of use some of our stuff to help other people.
Feel
and kind
seen
of,
and heard.
Yeah, and kind of be the ones to kind of put yourself out there and be a little bit vulnerable and hopefully, and we have had lots of lovely messages from people saying, and like people we know who've gone, gosh, I lost my dad when I was 9 and no one ever really talked about it, and just thinking I can't even, that's just horrendous. So I suppose I have actually felt such a sense of purpose, and not in a like, it's all worth it, but just that actually it's felt meaningful, it's felt useful, and it's felt really, really positive to be able to use some of the rubbish to hopefully help others.
And that doesn't mean that any of the, one of the things that I'd love to talk about more at another point is the idea of like painful stuff can have purpose. That doesn't mean anyone wants it in the first place, but it doesn't mean that it can have zero positive effect on your life and others. It was on the news today. Oh my gosh, his name's gone out of my head now. Oh, this is such a problem for me these days, especially when I'm being off the cuff. The amazing rugby player who recently died of motor neurone. Can anyone remember his name? Rob Burrows, well done. Gosh, you are so good at that. Rob Burrows, today is the day that the motor neurone centres opened in Leeds. In honour of him, with all the fundraising that's been done over the last couple of years. It's unbelievable, that legacy. Now, his family are delighted. Of course, they'd want him back. But what a wonderful, purposeful thing to take place, that actually people's experiences of dealing with the end stages are going to be so improved in that part of the world. Yeah. How amazing to take something difficult and actually say, let me get some purpose from that wider support that I can give to other people. And that is definitely one of those things. So it's not just centred on you, and purpose is not a product. Sorry for putting you on the spot like that.
That's all right.
The third thing that's in the book is some of it's your fault. This is a really happy book, isn't it? What I mean by that is that sometimes when we're experiencing, for people listening to this podcast, they know I've said this before, when we're experiencing times of burnout or difficult life scenarios, it's easy for us to want to stick it to the man. You know, it's their fault. It's the man's fault, as in, I mean, generic, not men. It's because I work for the NHS. It's because I am a public servant. It's because I've got all these additional factors to my life. And that is true. Like, all of that is true. But one of the things we talk about in the book is to recognise that there are some things that we do, me included, that perpetuate problems. We self-sabotage at times that are not just circumstantial, they are decisions that we're making. And some of that comes from the very personality we've got. That is a great thing that sometimes acts not in our favour. We don't always act in our own best intention. So, for example, if you are somebody who is really kind to other people, you may be a little bit responsible for the fact that you've said yes to too many things, and that isn't somebody else's fault for asking.
Yeah.
And you may be somebody who, I don't know, loves to organise stuff and you're really good at it, but you feel like all of the people around you expect you to organise everything. Again, you don't have to always do that. And what is it about our own behaviours that drive us? And I know for myself that some of the situations I get myself in are definitely my own fault to a level. And then, of course, add in the fact that as human beings, we want people to do things for us. So we're not going to self-limit for somebody else. And if you're in a workplace, most workplaces will take what you're willing to give because they can't always keep a track on it. All of that adds together to being actually, what part of this do I need to take some responsibility for? Yeah. So I'm being a bit provocative by saying some of it's your fault. But what I'm saying there is there's a whole chapter and section, 2 chapters actually, dedicated to the idea of this is the stuff that I struggle with, and this is why you might be struggling with that, and this is how you can begin to make change. And maybe to recognise that you'll always have these tendencies. You just need to manage them better.
And the self-awareness and knowing that's probably how I'm going to react to that, or I have a tendency of doing this, can really help you make decisions that might be just a little bit different than before. And
you might still choose to do that thing that you know is going to ask of you, because actually life isn't meant to be totally boxed up nicely in boundaries.
No, and that's a big thing you always talk about. We saw an article the other day that was, I can't remember what website it was, but it was talking about the
it was talking about
the cost of inconvenience. No, the cost.
It was about the idea of cost and inconvenience.
Go on. The inconvenient. Inconvenience is the cost of community.
Yeah, and the idea that a full life will be inconvenienced and have cost to it.
Yeah.
The article and a few articles and my own thoughts on this are around this idea of, have we now over-regulated? You know how people have gone from being like, I'll do everything for anybody. So now people have gone uber boundaried, and there's a lot of books out there around this, that we've done what we classically do as humans, that we've now over-regulated that and saying, I won't put myself out, and I won't pick up my text at this time, and I won't, you know, at the point of it becoming a bit absurd. And actually, there is a level of inconvenience and cost that comes to having a full life, which means that we do those things. Yeah. People have wildly put themselves out for me since Mum has died. And that's part of the cost of having a community and knowing that there'll be people who are going to do that in return for you.
Absolutely.
That's what a full life looks like, choosing to do those things sometimes that put you out. Okay, that's a bit of a sidebar, which I definitely think could be a whole episode. So come back to that, pause, remember. Final thing is that this book is full of stuff from normal people. It's unfinished business. Like, this is not this idea of read this, everything will be sorted. I probably shouldn't say that because that's what you should say. Yeah. But it's full of stuff around the mundane, getting meaning from mundane, learning lessons from the ordinary. And I'm ordinary, It's full of ordinary, wonderful people's stories, and that actually there is something about grounding and rooting and being practical. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful to some of the amazing stuff out there on purpose, but they are often coming from a perspective of a really privileged person, and I put myself in privilege category, but somebody who's maybe got an abundance of privilege of their position that they've worked hard for. I'm not saying that, but what we can lose then is a bit of sight of the actual everyday brilliance of everyday wonderful lives that we can sort of capture meaning from, capture more purpose from. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's going to be imperfect. But what's the story from your mundane? What's the story from the normal? What's the purposefulness in the average that we can sometimes discard because of this desire to feel like, you know, a life of purpose looks and feels a way that perhaps it doesn't.
And a lot of your client story, so every chapter has a client story at the end of it, and one of the editors said it was like her favourite part of the book because it just makes everything you're saying so much more real. And just really normal everyday people
that you can
totally relate to, but are doing wonderful things. And actually another thing you talk about is that purpose can be found not only just in the mundane things, but can be in small tweaks as well.
Yeah, totally.
So some of them may have gone, I'm really struggling at work, and there's Cherry's story, which is an absolute classic of like really burnt out, really struggling. But she didn't need to leave her job and have a new job, and actually that was the answer. She just went in with a new mindset and changed just a few small tweaks, and actually that's realistic. That's what we can do, and how we can just make small tweaks to make our life.
And one of the reasons people stay stuck is because they think it's got to be wild, or wild or nothing. And actually, this book really pushes you to think about what could be different this month, this term, this season, because those things stack up, and over time they become much bigger things. We should probably stop talking because people have places to go and things to do.
So do we.
So a few things that you'll get from this book are practical stuff, the mundane, purpose is not a product, some of it is your fault, and this is not all about you. And so I hope some of that whets your appetite. Comes out on the 4th of December. Pre-order now. Anywhere where you get books, you can find The Purpose Pursuit. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well when you do get your copy through the post. Do get in touch with us and let us know what you're experiencing and what you think and what's standing out to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.